Mike Tindall always looks like the fun uncle that everyone needs in their lives. But in the case of Prince George, whose destiny is all about duty, responsible behaviour, Mike's presence in his life is completely invaluable. Life in the royal pressure cooker, which is what George is growing into, needs someone like Mike to act as an emotional safety valve. George's original fun uncle, an adult playmate, did that infamous bolt to the US, leaving a Harry-sized gap in the young boy's life that Mike, I think, seems to have more than filled. Harry and Mike share traits like fearlessness, irreverence, but Mike also has something that Harry lacks and that George needs, which is an intrinsic respect for the royal firm. Mike will joke with the royals, but he won't be critical or indiscreet. George might need an outlet in terms of letting off steam now and again, but what he doesn't need is somebody who's influencing him as the controversial relative. But Mike's behaviour during their Christmas walk to and from church showed he will probably always treat George as he would treat his own children, which is naturally, playfully, spontaneously, etc. While George and his siblings were being nudged gently to greet the waiting crowd with polite handshakes that they've learned, you can see them beginning to learn those very polite smiles when they're greeting the public. And they were also trying to manage and carry on with the gifts they've been given. Mike just took over the action by grabbing George for a stunning and very touching, hearty, partial hug and kissing him on the side of the head, showing not just spontaneous affection, but also a sense of reward and pride in the young boy for the way he was doing such a good job. And we can see George's facial expression, that grin suggests he was both surprised and delighted to get this approval from Uncle Mike. William is also playful as a parent, but William's got the same destiny as George, and that famously led him to being told off as an adult by the late Queen when he bent to speak to his son on the royal balcony. And I think that shows how much he's also bound by royal rules and protocols. But Mike can show George how to enjoy life within those rules, when to be playful and when to be well behaved. Mike's own superpower in the royal firm is his alpha sporting hero status that he brought in at entry level. Royal men like William and Harry appeared to be slightly in awe of Mike, and he in turn wasn't fazed by them, which was important. This led to a very relaxed looking relationship where Mike has been allowed to treat the royal children like children, even playfully telling them off when they get a bit too boisterous, as he did with little Louis, if you remember, at the Jubilee celebrations. And there was that wonderful gesticulation from Mike where he showed Louis, "I'm watching you." And that got a grin from Kate, which was important because she knew that it would diffuse any playful or slightly naughty behaviour rather than intensifying it. You know, because sometimes if you tell a small child off in public, it can lead to tears and tantrums, and clearly she didn't want that. We can also see Louis, he's turned round looking back at Mike with complete attention as this, what must look like a man mounting to him, gives him the stare. And the royal children must know that when naughty Uncle Mike tells them to stop, they must be doing something seriously wrong. Mike's rugby career would have taught him the skills of leadership, teamwork, and how to motivate people to get the best out of them, while also making sure that any pressure doesn't become destructive to them. And this has got to be useful as a role model in George's life. We can also see with Kate that standing with Mike while she was carrying a younger George, we can see how contagious Mike's relaxed and his own informal approach might be, because it seems to have affected Kate. Mike's just standing there chatting, scratching his arm. Kate's carrying the future king, but we can see her just looking like any younger mum with that very relaxed looking smile. Mike seems to have been adored by the late Queen, who he made laugh many times during their meetings. There was one in particular, I think it was at Ascot, where he got his top hat on and the Queen was chatting to him, and he suddenly lifted his top hat and he got some gift which was like a chocolate top hat under his hat. I mean, the Queen found it absolutely uproarious. I mean, she was laughing in a way that you didn't always get to see her laugh. But he's also, it seems and it looks, equally adored by his mother-in-law, Princess Anne. He comes with a royal seal of approval from two formidable royal women then, and that seems to be more than enough for William and Kate in terms of having him act as the fun, spontaneous uncle influence in their children's lives.